Hey guys, Matt here with November's Pokemon Spotlight video. The first thing I want to say about this video is that it will contain absolutely no spoilers or leaks of any kind. With that out of the way, the Pokemon I will be discussing in this video is Dunsparce. And similar to my last few videos, I will be talking about why I think it should have a Galarian form. Now, I haven't looked at the leaks, I've tried my very best to avoid them. That being said, some of you watching this video may already know whether or not Dunsparce has a Galarian form. If you do, I kindly ask that you refrain from speaking about that in the comments so as not to spoil it for others who are waiting till the games actually come out. Before we dive in, I ask that you please leave a like on this video. It really helps a small YouTuber like me, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. So, Dunsparce. Part of the reason I wanted to spotlight this Pokemon is because of another Pokemon that has been officially confirmed to have not a Galarian form, but a Galarian evolution. Of course, the Pokemon I'm talking about is Farfetch'd. Farfetch'd was introduced in Generation 1, and the only way to obtain Farfetch'd in Red and Blue was to trade a Spearow to an NPC in Vermilion City. And that is the one and only Farfetch'd you can get in the whole game because breeding wasn't a thing yet. Moving on to Generation 2, before you got to Violet City, which is the site of your first gym battle, there is a big, dark, and scary cave, appropriately named Dark Cave, that you can get into. Now, there's two things to note about this cave. First, it's completely dark, and you can't see your way around the cave without Flash, which you obtain in Violet City, which is a city that you potentially haven't even gotten to yet, and on top of that, even if you have Flash, you can't use it outside of battle until you get the Zephyr badge in Violet City. The second thing to note about Dark Cave is that there is literally no reason to go into that cave unless you're just trying to catch them all. You are not required to go into that cave to complete the game. There's literally nothing that you'll miss plot-wise by not going into the cave. The fact that you need Flash to traverse this cave that does nothing for you, in my opinion, just makes Dark Cave more trouble than it's worth. I've played through the Johto region multiple times, and many of those times I never once set foot inside Dark Cave. But wait, turns out there's actually a super rare Pokemon living in Dark Cave that you can only find there, and that Pokemon is Dunsparce. But if you actually do decide to go into Dark Cave to find Dunsparce, you may be looking for quite a long time, because it has an appearance rate of 1%. That means 1 out of every 100 Pokemon you encounter in that cave will be a Dunsparce. So, let's say you actually take the time to look for it and finally encounter one. Dunsparce has a catch rate of 190. Most early game Pokemon will have a catch rate of 255 so that they're easy to catch with Pokeballs. So, while its catch rate isn't extremely low, it's low enough that you may have to throw a few Pokeballs at it in order to catch it. Especially given the fact that in these early parts of the game, it can be difficult to get a Pokemon's health down in the red without knocking it out, and the fact that all you have right now are just Pokeballs. You haven't even been able to get a Great Ball yet. Combine that with the fact that you've just come up routes 30 and 31, where you've likely been catching Pokemon, so you may not have a lot of Pokeballs left in your bag at this point. But now, let's say you've done all that, and you've got yourself a brand new Dunsparce on your team. Well, it is a normal type, so nothing too special there. It has a base stat total of 415, which is pretty decent actually for early in the game. Its base HP is 100, so it's pretty bulky, and it can act as your defensive tank for the early stages of the game. But as you progress in the game, and the other Pokemon in your team start to evolve, and you start to battle against evolved Pokemon, Dunsparce quickly loses any usefulness it may have had in the early goings. You go through a lot of trouble to obtain this Pokemon, only to realize that it's not that great. While a 415 total base stat is pretty good for early in the game, it gets left behind pretty quickly once others start evolving. In Generations 2 through 6, it shared its base stat total with Furret. Others with similar totals include Chatot and Raticate, along with the middle evolutions of the Unova starters, Servine, Dewott, and Pignite, none of which you commonly see in someone's final team. Now, Masquerain has a base stat total of 414, which surprised me to be honest, as I feel like that is a Pokemon that I see used a little bit more frequently. Appearance-wise, Dunsparce is based on a mythical creature of Japan called Tsuchinoko. It is similar to other mythical creatures like Bigfoot, the Chupacabra, and even the Loch Ness Monster in the sense that reports of sightings of the creature appear in Japanese media from time to time, but there isn't any hard evidence to support its existence. Bulbapedia also makes mention of Dunsparce's wings, which bring to mind the motif of a feathered serpent, a prominent deity or supernatural being in many Mesoamerican religions. Dunsparce also has some traits in common with bumblebees, as seen by its stripes, tiny wings, and stinger-like tail. Bulbapedia also states that it may draw some inspiration from amphisbaenians, which are small, blind reptiles that lack limbs and are adept burrowers, like Dunsparce. At this point, you might be wondering why I started off the video talking about Farfetch'd. Well, it's similar to Dunsparce in a lot of ways. First of all, it's only available in one spot of its debut games, and the only reason you would want to go through the trouble of obtaining either of them is if you're trying to complete the Pokédex. Now, I will say that Farfetch'd is a lot easier to obtain than Dunsparce is. Chances are that you'll have a Spearow anyway, and if you don't, it's really easy to just go and catch one on Route 4. However, with a base stat total of just 352, Farfetch'd isn't going to be of much use to you. Most of the Pokemon that you'll have at this point in the game will probably be close to that, if not higher. At least Dunsparce does have some use in the early stages of the game. But that's all changed now. Farfetch'd now evolves. Generation 8 has introduced us to Sirfetch'd. Upon its reveal, people were quick to notice that Sirfetch'd is exclusive to Pokemon Sword, which got people wondering who the Pokemon Shield exclusive counterpart would be. There were a lot of theories, but one of the most popular theories was Dunsparce. It was a rare Pokemon like Farfetch'd, it was kind of weak like Farfetch'd, and it was a fan favorite like Farfetch'd. Eventually we learned about Galarian Ponyta, which is a Shield exclusive, but I feel like Ponyta is different enough from Farfetch'd, especially with the way it's being handled in Generation 8, that while, yes, it is indeed a Shield exclusive, I don't think it's the Shield exclusive counterpart to Farfetch'd. I think Dunsparce could fill that role perfectly. So, in Generation 8, like Farfetch'd, Dunsparce would not have a Galarian form, but it would have a Galarian evolution. Also like Farfetch'd, when Dunsparce evolves, its type would change. I think Ground, Flying, or even Dragon would be good types for a Dunsparce evolution. A Dragon/Flying type evolution named Dunsaraf was actually created for the fan game Pokemon Uranium version, which I must say I may play one of these days. This Fakemon evolution has a base stat total of, wait for it, 560, which is insane. Other artists have also created what their version of an evolved Dunsparce might look like. The idea of Dunsparce getting an evolution has been around for quite some time, and if it doesn't happen in Sword and Shield, I feel pretty confident that it will eventually get one in future titles. Now it's your turn to tell me what you think. Would you like to see Dunsparce get a Galarian form or Galarian evolution? Like I said earlier, I haven't seen the leaks, and if you have, I would really appreciate leaving the comment section free of any leaks or spoilers that may confirm whether or not anything I've mentioned in this video actually comes to fruition in Pokemon Sword and Shield. But please feel free to comment your thoughts on what you think about a potential Galarian evolution for Dunsparce, and what Pokemon you would like to see have a new form or new evolution. This will obviously be the last Spotlight video that talks about potential Galarian forms. My Spotlight videos for December and January will most likely cover new Generation 8 Pokemon, so be on the lookout for those. For now, I do want to say thank you so much guys for watching this video. Please leave a like and a comment, and please subscribe if you like my content, and I will see you all next time. Bye.